The various ions that are present in the soil, they are actively transported into the vascular tissues. Here the leaves are turgid now. So turgid means they have swollen, the cells have swollen because it is absorbing moisture. So therefore, such water that is lost in the liquid phase is called as guttation. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to another session on chapter 11, that is transport in plants. I'm Dr. Divya, biology faculty, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysore, Temple of Excellence. So in the previous session, we had discussed about the water potential, wherein we learnt about the water potential and the solute potential, and also we learnt about the osmosis, and also we learnt about plasmolysis, the turgor pressure and all that, wherein the cells, they become turgid, placid and they get plasmolized. So about all that we had studied in the previous session. In today's session, we shall discuss how exactly water is carried through a plant. So we shall begin the session. So to understand this, how exactly water moves up a plant. So we all know that the plants absorb water through the roots, and especially in the roots, there are presence of small thread-like structures which extends from the root, which are called as the root hairs. And these root hairs, they not just increases the surface area of the root, but they also facilitate or they help the root to increase the absorption of the water and the mineral nutrients that are present in the soil. So we shall discuss about two important theories under this particular concept, that is the water movement up a plant. That is, one is the root pressure theory and the other one is the transpiration pull theory. So talking about the root pressure. So we know that in the soil there is presence of a lot of minerals, mineral ions and also water, right? So all these will be supplied to the different parts of the plant when it is taken in by the roots. So the various ions that are present in the soil, they are actively transported into the vascular tissue. So what are the vascular tissues that they are present here? Especially it is the xylem. We are talking about, why am I considering xylem is because we are talking about water, right? That is the movement of water up a plant. So all the ions. So in that water that is present in the soil, it is not just pure water, but it is almost like a solute. Why? Because a lot of mineral ions are dissolved in it, right? So all the various ions that are present in the soil is actively transported into the vascular tissues of the roots. And how is it transported? How the roots actually absorb water? Through a potential gradient. So what is this potential gradient? How is it created? We know that in the root, the concentration of the ions, the water molecules and all is more, right? But in the root hair of the root, it is less. So the particles or the water molecules and the ions, they have to move from a region of higher concentration to a region of the lower concentration. Therefore, they will be moving from the soil into the root hair where the concentration of the ions is, or the water molecules is very, very less. And it moves along a pressure gradient. And therefore, when it moves, what happens now? Inside the cells of the root, the pressure increases, right? Why? Because the root cells get filled in with the xylem cells which are present in the root, it gets filled in with all these ions and the water molecules. Therefore, what happens? A pressure will be created inside that. So, the pressure gets created inside the xylem. So, this pressure that is created is a positive pressure. So, we all know about the process of diffusion, right? So, what happens in diffusion? The water molecules move from a region of higher concentration to a region of the lower concentration, wherein here a positive pressure is being created. So this positive pressure that is being created because of the accumulation of the ions and the water molecules in the xylem cells, it is called as the root pressure. And This root pressure is the one that is actually responsible for carrying up the water or responsible for pushing up of water to smaller heights in the stem. So, this root pressure actually has a minimum advantage. Only it helps plants which are of smaller height. But those plants, imagine trees, there are trees which are very tall, right? So is the root pressure enough for the water to move from the root or the ions to move from the root to the other tip of the, that is to the tip of the tree which is very tall? No, it is not enough. The root pressure is sufficient only for the movement of water molecules or ions from the root to the tip of the plant, which is a smaller height. That is short distance traveling of water molecules or ions is favored by the root pressure. So root pressure only provides a moderate push in the overall process of water transport. So that is what it means. So it only gives a push to the movement of the water up to a certain distance in the plant. But in taller plants, if the water has to move, then it has to depend on the transpiration pull. So now we have understood about the root pressure. So what is root pressure? It is nothing but the pressure that is created inside the xylem cells when the water molecules along with the ions move from a region of higher concentration to a region of the lower concentration. Therefore, in the xylem cells, the ions and the water molecules get accumulated, thereby creating a pressure. That particular pressure which is created in the xylem of the root cells is called as the root pressure. And this root pressure is only favorable for movement of water only or ions only up to a certain distance. Beyond that, the transpiration pull is needed. So we shall look into what exactly, how the in tall trees. So in tall trees, how exactly the water moves is from the root to different parts of the plant. So this, as I told you, the root pressure does not play a major role in water movement up to the tall trees. So the greatest contribution of root pressure may be to re-establish the continuous chains of water molecules in the xylem. So what happens here is, so if you need to fill water molecules, so what happens, say for example, the root is absorbing water, it is being taken in, absorbing water along with the ions, it is being taken into the xylem and the xylem is carrying it to different parts of the plant body, right? Therefore, how is it transferring? Through the root pressure. So, as the water is moving from the root through the xylem into different parts of the plant body, again that water that has moved out of the xylem should be refilled, right? So, here what happens, if it has to be refilled, there should be a continuous chain of movement of water. It is called as cohesion of water should be there. That is, the water molecules should form a continuous chain wherein it is attached to one another by a hydrogen bond. So, this continuous chain, so say for example, if this is the soil, in the soil there are a lot of water molecules that are present which are having ions and all that, mineral ions. So they are being taken in by the root, and if it has to travel through the xylem cells continuously, the water molecules should form chains. There should be cohesion between the water molecules. So what it means is that they should re-establish into the continuous chains of water molecules in the xylem, but when it comes to root pressure, the pressure is not that enough for the water molecules to form a continuous chain. Here what happens? The chain often breaks because of continuous tension that is created by transpiration, because we know that what happens? Will the plant only be absorbing water and storing it inside? No, there is a process called as transpiration also, right? So what happens in transpiration? The water that is there during the daytime, it will move out of the plant's leaves through the openings called as the stomata, right? So here what happens here is the root pressure is not enough for the water to get filled back to the xylem. That is, the molecules will not form a continuous chain. What happens? Here the transpiration rate will be high during the daytime. So as the water is lost, the water should be filled back to the plant, right? So therefore, chains of water molecules has to get formed in the xylem, which is not possible by the root pressure. So therefore, root pressure will not help in majority of the water transport, wherein most plants, therefore, they depend on the transpiratory pull in order to replenish themselves with the water. So that is what happens. So easy to explain. What if I have to say what happens? I had told you previously itself, there is lot of water molecules having a lot of ions in them in the soil that will be taken into the root hair and it will be transported to the roots, wherein the xylem which is there, in the xylem, if continuously, it is like demand and supply. Here what is happening? There is the demand for water is being created in the plant during the daytime. Why? Because during the daytime, the water is lost from the leaves of the plants by a process called as transpiration. So as water is lost, what happens? The xylem should be continuously taking in water, right? The movement of water should be continuous through the xylem. So if that has to be continuous, what should happen? Chains of water molecules should be there. So how a chains form? It is called as cohesion, wherein the water molecules, they stick to one another and form long chains through hydrogen bonds. But what happens here is, the transpiration rate is in such a way that it creates a lot of tension in the xylem cells. Therefore, the chains of water molecules will be broken. It will not be possible for it to maintain the chain of water molecule. Therefore, at that time, the plants, such plants, what they do is, in order to maintain the water level in their body, they go in for the continuous movement of water, they depend on the transpiration pull. So therefore, the transpiratory pull or the transpiration pull is also one of the important concepts in the movement of water in the case of plants. So here we shall study about the transpiration pull. So apart from that, I told you the water moves through the root, right? So how is it? So in order to know that, there is a particular experiment in order to know that. So what the scientist did was, he took a soft stem plant and then he kept it somewhere, that is a soft stem plant, he kept it somewhere where there was enough of atmospheric moisture or enough of water in the moisture so that the plants can absorb. So then what he did was, he cut the stem horizontally near the base with a sharp blade. So what he did, here the leaves are turgid now. So turgid means they have swollen, the cells have swollen because it is absorbing moisture. So therefore, and what he did was, he actually put the plant in a beaker of water so that here the roots will absorb the water and the water molecules will enter in through the xylem by the root pressure. And after that, what he did was, now he wanted to know through the root itself, does the water travel or not, to what distance the water can travel, all that he wanted to know. So what he did was, he made a small cut. So where did he make a cut? So near the base of the stem, he made a small cut. Somewhere here near the base of the stem, he made a small cut using a sharp blade. So when he made a small cut and left it like that, in the morning he came and saw that he could see drops of solution oozing out of the stem. So this comes out due to the positive root pressure. So what is the positive root pressure here? The water will be absorbed by the root. It will be absorbed by the root and it will be transported to upper parts of the plant. So that is why after that is in the morning, when he came and saw which region there was a cut, he could find droplets of water in the region where he had cut the stem. So why? Because the water was moving through the stem. So that is why. And next what he did was, he fixed a rubber tube to the cut stem as a sleeve. So how much amount of water is collected? So he put a rubber cork-like thing, rubber cork-like thing to measure how much exactly water gets collected by the process of the root pressure that is being created. And he measured the rate of exudation of the water, that is how much water was given out by the oozing out of the stem. He measured and determined the composition, what all is there in the exudate. So he found out that in the exudates there were a lot of different mineral ions were as well. So therefore he understood that root pressure is the one that actually helped in the suction of water by the roots and its transport through the stem part. So that is how in this particular experiment he was able to conclude. So therefore we all know that root pressure is very, very important, but sometimes what happens, the plant cannot only depend on the root pressure, because the root pressure can carry water molecules or ions only to certain distances. Other times they have to depend on the transpiration pull. So the effect of the root pressure can be observed at night as well as in the early in the morning. So we all know that during daytime it is not much observable through the leaves, because the water gets evaporated through the leaves, which is called as transpiration. But during the daytime what happens, the water evaporation is very, very less, right? Because there is no heat, that is through the sun won't be there, therefore the heat that is generated will not be there, therefore evaporation of water is not there. So therefore what happens, it is not, the root pressure can be seen even in the night, but we can also see the water that is coming out of the leaf. So what happens here is, when we see in the morning, we can see excess water collected in the form of droplets around special openings of veins that are present in the leaves or at the tip of the leaf blade. So morning, whenever we are going on a walk, we can see small pearl-like bead, that is pearl-like water droplets that are seen on the grasses and all that. So what is that? Is nothing but during the daytime. So you just go and check in the afternoon, all those water droplets won't be there. Why? Because it would have been evaporated. But during night also what happens, transpiration will occur, and that water doesn't get evaporated because the heat is very, very low during the night and early morning, right? So that is what excess of water that is there will remain on the surface of the leaf. Wherever there is the veins, in that vein openings it will remain, and also it will remain in the leaf blade. So that water that is being collected, or such water that is lost in the liquid phase, is called as guttation. So I hope you understood what I mean. So what I mean is that, say for example, if water is lost from the leaf during the morning, what happens? The water will get evaporated, right? So the water is lost in the form of vapor. So that is called as transpiration. But at night what happens here is, night also the plants are absorbing water, and what happens, root pressure is being created. So that excess of water that is there should be lost from the plant. So during the loss of water from the plant, because there is no heat from the sun during the night, what happens, the water will not be lost in the form of vapor. It will be lost in the form of water droplets itself, which will remain collected at the openings of the veins of the leaves and also in the leaf blade. So such loss of water in the form of droplets is known as guttation. So that is the difference between transpiration and guttation. In transpiration, the water is lost from the leaves in the form of vapor, whereas in guttation, the water is lost from the leaves in the form of droplets itself. So that is about, so both transpiration and guttation also goes hand in hand with the root pressure. So next, talking about water movement up a plant, we were talking about that. So under that, I told you, so far we understood about root pressure, which is minimal. Why? Because it can only transport the ion and the water molecules only up to a certain height. But in the case of transpiration pull, the length of the plant, if it is even taller also, the tallest plants also can receive water and ions even up to its tip because of the transpiration pull. So transpiration pull, what is this transpiration pull? So what happens when the water is lost from the plants during the process of transpiration, a pressure will be created for the suction of water from the base of the ground. right? So that is nothing but the transpiration pull. So water is mainly pulled through the plant, and that driving force which allows the plant roots to pull water and transport it to the leaves is called as the transpiration pull, and therefore this is referred to as the cohesion, tension, transpiration, pull. What is cohesion? Of course, here as the water is lost from the plants in the form of vapor, the plants keeps absorbing water through the roots. Therefore, in the xylem of the roots, the water molecule should be cohesed, means they should form chains through hydrogen bond. So that is nothing but created by this transpiration pull, which was not possible by the root pressure. So therefore, it is referred to as the cohesion, tension, transpiration pull model of water transport. So, water is transient in plants. We know that is water is transported throughout the plant parts, and less than 1% of the water reaching the leaf is used in photosynthesis and plant growth, and remaining of that, where will it go? It will be lost by a process called as guttation and by a process called as transpiration. We came to know about that earlier. So most of the lost water is through the stomata of the leaves, right? It is through the stomata. So the stomata during the daytime when they are open, what happens? The excess water that is there moves out of the stomata, and in the form of vapor it will be lost, which is nothing but transpiration. So only 1% will be made use by the plant. So only 1% will be utilized by the plants, and rest of it will move out through the stomata. Water evaporates through the stomata. So this water loss is known as transpiration. Earlier itself I had told you the difference between guttation and transpiration. Guttation usually occurs during night when the stomatas are closed. The movement of water occurs, but because there is no heat from the sun, it will be lost in the form of water droplet itself. But in the case of transpiration, what happens? Here only 1% of the water that is reaching the leaves by a process of transpiration pull, it will reach the leaf. Only 1% of the water will be made utilized by the leaf, and the rest, and that is especially for photosynthesis process, because in photosynthesis we know that carbon dioxide and also water and also light energy is the raw materials that is being used. So that 1% will be used during photosynthesis, and the remaining will just be lost through the stomata in the form of vapors. So that is nothing but transpiration. So in transpiration, actually the water gets lost. So the plant loses water in transpiration, which actually causes an upward pull. So therefore, when the water is lost, a tension is being created in the xylem cells, and this tension, which is called as the cohesion tension. Cohesion tension means it has to see that the water molecules are ready. The plants cannot be without water, right? What will happen? It will die. It will die. So as the water is lost, the water should get transported through the xylem. So if there should not be gap, so if the gap is there, what happens here? It will take time. So here what happens? It should see that there is no gap between the water molecules. The water molecules should form a long chain which are held together by hydrogen bonds. Therefore, a cohesion of water molecules is being created. Therefore, it is a continuous supply of water should be there. So that is the reason why in majority of the plants, especially tall trees, they cannot depend on the root pressure, but they can depend on the transpiration pull. And because of this, because of maintenance of the cohesion nature of water, it is also called as the cohesion. So cohesion of water is being created. When the water is lost, a tension is being created in the xylem cells for the need for water, and all that result is called nothing but the cohesion, tension, transpiration pull model. So this was about today's session, wherein we studied about the root pressure theory and the transpiration pull theory. How do plants take up water. So where the water is enough to be transported to a smaller distance, but in the case of tall trees, the root pressure will not play a good role. Why? Because that is, the cohesion of water is not possible with the root pressure, but it is possible with that of the transpiration pull. So that is why majority of the plants, they also take water through the roots by the transpiration pull, which is nothing but also called as the cohesion, tension, transpiration pull theory. So this was about today's session, wherein we discussed how plants take up water, that is the movement of water up a plant. So I hope you understood this session well. We shall meet in the coming session, wherein we'll discuss about the transpiration in detail. We shall discuss about it, and we shall discuss about two important pathways, which is called as the symplast and the apoplast pathway. So we shall meet again in the coming session. Thank you.